I think we're in. I just need to see. Let's see. How can I see who's all in here? I guess I can. So, welcome everybody. My name is Trenton Bodin. I'm Director of Technology at Tristan Associates and a Brilliant Tribe with Tristan Associates. And today's webinar, we have a fantastic one here. And we have Gary Prado, who is the CEO of Virtual Outsourcing, which is vitalisva.com for anybody that wants to go check them out. But first, before you go check them out, definitely stay paying attention to hear what we're going to be talking about, because today we're going to be focusing more on not just closing more deals, but doing less of the stuff that slows you down so that way you can do it. And I'm going to kick it off here and give it over to Gary to kind of introduce himself a little bit here and let him kind of let us know what we're going to be getting into.
Well, thank you, Trenton. Well, thanks for that. And so today I'm really excited. Real estate's, I talk to a bunch of real estate agents every week. And, I had one lady that said, she just sent me this email. She said, Gary, I have wasted so much time today and I'm so stressed. I need to talk to you ASAP. And it's true. I mean, she's running a real estate team of like 4 people and, she's stressed out and doesn't know if she's going to be able to get all the work done. And she has no systems and processes. And so she's just stressed. I had to laugh. She said, I've wasted so much time today. And so we have a call with her and she's booked. But today's webinar is about, how virtual assistants are revolutionizing the real estate success for the agent. And so, there's some things that we're going to go over today. And, virtual assistants aren't anything new. Probably most of the people on here are seeing this have virtual assistants, but, we're going to go over some things that can help somebody, manage, train virtual assistants, their systems, processes, things like that. So anyway, thanks for having me on. But I just wanted to go through and we'll just start and get going. The first thing that I see is with operations. A lot of real estate agents have teams. A lot of real estate agents are in operations. A lot of real estate agents don't have operations. And so they're a one-man show trying to juggle everything. And that causes a lot of stress. So what we're going to go over today are some of these roles that a virtual assistant can do, and finding that person is out there. Now, what are the benefits of a virtual assistant? I think that Trenton, there are benefits. Do you want to go over your ideas of what the benefits are?
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I kind of think of if you're an agent that's drowning in admin, some follow-up, maybe it's just task overload, this session is really for you, because we're going to really break down how top performing agents are going to be using these virtual assistants. So it's like, do you want to streamline your day? Do you want to stay consistent? Do you want to close more business without burning out? Because if those things are resonating with you, you might need a virtual assistant to be able to help you out. And so right away, those are the things that I think of, because those are the things that I need help with. Or, if you're an agent, how can you adapt with someone that's going to help you out each and every day? And so that's kind of what we're going to, kind of get started here with.
Yep. So great point. So virtual assistants, you can pay a virtual assistant anywhere. Now, anybody that says you can get them for $3 an hour, you get what you pay for. There are places where you can get people that are virtual assistants for $3 an hour. And if you're going to pay $3 an hour, you're going to get $3 an hour. We call it in our company VA churn. That virtual assistant you'll hire for $3 to $6 an hour will start with you. They tell you they're great at everything. They can do anything. They can perform heart surgery. And so, they can do everything and anything, and they're the best VA ever. And then you find out pretty quickly that they aren't what they said they were. And so they struggle. Sometimes they disappear. After a month, you don't know what's going on. They are a warm body. The warm body's better than nobody. So you keep that person even though they're underperforming. So what we call that is VA churn. You're going to let that VA go. You've spent a month and a half training them. You end up letting that person go, that VA go, because they're not a good candidate. And then what happens is you do it again. You hire, train, and then you manage that VA again, and you keep going and going and going. So have you had experience with those?
Yeah. I mean, it's constant back and forth too, but at the end of the day, think about how much time you're saving. Think about how much time you're allowing yourself to put back into selling real estate. It's
right.
And it's not always about just, having that extra piece there. Sure. Sometimes it might be better to have someone that still knows something, so that way you don't have to go back and redo everything else. But at the same time, if you just would have trained it in the first place, or at least put out the information that it needed to know, or they needed to know, at least that way they have the foundation to be able to help you out with what you really truly need. And so it's a great way to be able to, be able to scale smarter and be able to really streamline your day.
Yeah. So we're going to go over some of these positions. And so these positions are what we see at Virtual Outsourcing are the most important positions for a real estate team. Some of these you're going to know. Some of these are going to be something that you might not need now, but that's okay. So in our opinion, the first position that you need to hire needs to pay for themselves. They need to generate revenue. So they need to pay for their position, and they also need to make money for you. And so if you're on a budget, the first thing that you need to do is, in our opinion, is hire a lead gen person or VA that is going to bring you money. Now, right now, we're having crazy good success with agents calling FSBOs and expireds, promoting just listed, just solds. And so we have 2 clients from Lab Code Agents, I think, that got started with us, and they're getting their VA is, we call them executive partners, but for you guys, VA, their executive partner is a guy named John Eric. He's getting 3 listing appointments per week, doing 20 hours per week. So think about that. That VA or executive partner is getting 3 listing appointments every week on average. Sometimes it might be 2, sometimes it might be 4, but on average, you're getting 3 per week, working 20 hours per week. Now, I think July something, he's going full time with this client. But what that allows you to do is book listing appointments where you don't have to do lead generation. And also, you're going to start getting that listing. You're going to get that listing, and then you're going to start selling houses. So we believe that if you're a small team, lead gen is the number 1 position that you should have. That way you can start making money, and then you can start affording a virtual assistant to do those other positions. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that's a great idea there, because what else do you need in order to be able to help sell real estate? Well, you need people to be able to work with. And so that's going to be the foundation of anybody that's trying to get started, for sure, especially if you're a new agent, but at least even if you're an experienced agent, just simple things to be able to get, to be able to build that consistency. And that's going to help once you have that foundation of lead generation coming into play. You'll be able to actually be able to have some of that follow-up go up. And then the main part of this is you're going to get your evenings and weekends back, or at least being able to start selling more real estate, which that's what my thought always is what are the easiest ways, or what are the smartest ways to be able to get some of your time back so you can focus more on selling real estate. And a lot of that does come into play with having a virtual assistant. Yeah,
absolutely. So the first position we suggest is that appointment setter, that ISA that's going to make those phone calls. Now, we have a really cool tool. It is in all of our executive partners who are in the position of engaging FSBOs, expireds, promoting just listed, just solds. They have to do, it's a new role-playing tool that we have and use, and they role play with AI to get better at their job. So the AI even scores them, and afterwards it suggests things that they need to do better. So our ISAs are the best of the best. They are learning and getting better every day. Now, they're very good because of our vetting process, and I'll go over to that in just a little bit. But they're very good at having conversations, not just reading from a script. If any of our VAs or executive partners read from a script, we let them go. They have to be able to communicate and have conversations and problem solve why the house didn't sell, why do they think it didn't sell, or what are any reasons why it didn't work out for an expired or so forth. So that's the number one position that we say is that lead gen. Now, the next position that we see is TC. We have, I think, 2 candidates right now, highly experienced candidates for TC right now that we're trying to place with a company. So TC is incredibly important for some agents. That's a role that you're going to need, not a vital role, but it is a role that I wanted to bring up because TC, some brokerages have TC available for them, but I just wanted to bring that up. The next position that we see that you can use a VA for is systems and processes. Trenton, I see this every day where agents are just going in, juggling how the day goes, and they have no systems and processes. You know about systems and processes. Tell me what you see.
Well, it's usually what I don't see, and that's typically, following what should be done. The biggest thing for me is some of our agents will not move their leads out of a certain pipeline. And it's about having a system and process, because now if I asked you, who are you working with? Well, 1, great if you have it written down. 2, great if you have a little sticky note up here. But if you just would have done it right from the start, you wouldn't even have to have all these different things, because there's already a system and process in place. One of my non-favorite things that ended up being kind of a favorite thing after a while was creating a process document. Sure, it kind of might suck at first, but think about all those other team members you just brought on. Think about this VA you just brought on. How are they going to know what to do if you don't already have a system in place for them to be able to follow it? So it's really important. Well, it might not sound like it's, the most like the sexy, glamorous thing ever, but if you have those things in place, you don't have to worry about a lot of other things. And again, it comes back to how can we have less stress? Well, have a system in place in order to be able to do it.
Yeah, and we can help you with that at Vitalis. We're very good at those systems and processes. And what Trenton just said is true. If you have a systems and processes and something goes wrong, you don't have to be getting into stuff all day long, because you've got to go over here and talk to this client. But if you had a process for it, they would follow that SOP and they would know what to do. Versus you having to go here all day long, which is what most real estate agents are doing. They have no systems and processes, so therefore they're all over the place in different times all day long, and they can't concentrate on scaling and growing, right?
That's a big part there. Yeah, if they're constantly going from one thing to another thing and not really having a process, it's going to slow you down. And not only just slow you down, I just smacked myself, but it's going to cause you to start to rethink things, and not in a positive manner. And it's going to be, why didn't I do this? Or why is this not working like this? So that's really why it's so important.
Yeah, I agree. So systems and processes are crucial, and we can help you with those systems and processes at Vitalis. We've been in the industry over 13 years, so we can help you with those. The next position, and by the way, we're not a virtual. You might be asking, why is Vitalis getting involved in my systems and processes? Well, we're not just a normal VA company. We don't just place a VA and then say, good luck, bye, see you later, that's it. No, we have continually training and management, and we also do consulting as part of this to make sure your systems and processes are tight, to make sure that your executive partner is always learning and getting better at their position. And so we manage them as well. So that's all included in our services. So that's why we're talking about systems and processes. So the next position that I want to talk about is CRM management. And we combine these two together, CRM management and email management. That's a position that you can get a highly qualified executive partner for, that if you don't have somebody managing your CRM and doing email management, then you are involved in, yeah. Yeah. Hey, let's talk about CRMs real quick. I'm going to give you mine, but what's your favorite CRM real quick?
Oh, I would definitely have to go with Lofty. And it's just, so I'm more of I like the bells and the whistles. I like all the extra stuff. And some agents might prefer more simplest, like how can I send a text? How can I send an email? How can I keep track of my contacts? Do I need all this other stuff? So that's why I would say Lofty. But what about you?
Follow Up Boss.
Okay. So, it's, again, it depends on what you're using it for. Now, Follow Up Boss is great for call tracking, great for ISAs, great to see how things are going for that. So I totally understand that for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, that position, CRM and email managing. So we have executive partners right now that have 5+ years experience with Follow Up Boss. We have executive partners right now that have 5+ years with Lofty, Chime. And so we have clients that request a manager or that has 3+ years for Lofty, for Follow Up Boss, for any of the CRMs. I'm not even mentioning KV Core, so we have executive partners that have extensive experience that can help you right away to start working your CRM and do your email management. That way that offloads that for you. And then you can start working on what you need to do to scale. So that's one of the next positions. The next position I want to talk about that we see that you can really revolutionize your success. And I'm curious what you are going to say about this. I'm just going to say the words, 2 words, and then you tell me. Social media.
Overwhelming, takes too long. I'm going to use those ones because those are the ones that I hear from agents as far as what social media is or hard to figure out.
I see.
To me, social media is like the lifeline or the lifeline kind of that you need to be able to, especially in today's world, to be able to, have your business out there for people to know about it, people to talk about it, people to share it, things like that. But I can totally see where a lot of agents struggle to even just get their first foot forward is, well, what do I post? Where do I post that? Why do I need this and this?
Yeah. We were at a coaching conference. It's a large real estate coaching group, and we're partners with them. I'm not going to mention names, but so we were talking to a lot of agents, and I probably talked to personally, one of my assistants was there. I probably talked to 75 agents. All of them, I don't remember one person saying they produce content on a weekly basis. And that blew my mind. They said that it's kind of like the last thing that anybody wants to do or does. I don't know why social media, creating content and social media management is the last thing. Seems like it's the last thing that an agent wants to do. Why is that?
Because they're not selling real estate in theory. They're not out there showing a house. They're not out there, talking to someone right now that's interested, where a lot of them are missing out on the fact that this is how you build that pipeline. This is how you help out your current clients so that, one, you can stay in front of them, provide new updates. Social media doesn't have to be about, would you like to go buy a home today? It could literally just be about how can you build yourself as the local expert so then you can continue to build trust amongst other people that are going to get referred to, or people that are just searching, top places to watch the fireworks, something like that. And now all of a sudden you start to show up because you created a social post and a blog post around it.
Yeah. I think some agents are scared they think they have to be on camera. I think that a lot of agents are maybe nervous about that. Some agents, not all agents. I think that they think it's too time consuming. The technology is too time consuming to produce content on a consistent basis. I think it's a combination of those things. I'm going to give you guys some AI tools right now that you can use And we're experimenting with our company, Vitalis, to produce content, so forth and so on. Like right now, Jem, our marketing manager, is on this video and she's watching it and she's looking for content that she can use. And she uses a tool called Opus Clip. I don't know if guys have ever seen it, heard it. It will automatically take content for you from a video and create short reels. And it creates those automatically and uploads them. It's a great tool. So that's one tool that we really like, Opus Clip. If you're on video like I am right now and you are, it'll take those short clips, post those to reels. Great tool. There's another cool AI ad maker that we're experimenting with right now. It's called Hula, Hula, and it does AI graphics and videos. They're the funniest videos. I really love them. And so it creates these, and we're working with these right now. What they do is they're designed to stop you from scrolling. And when I saw the videos, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I obviously stopped them. Like, how did they do that? So Hula is a great tool that we use, or that we're testing right now to create ads and videos and things like that. But let me get back on track. So those are two tools that are really good that we use. But for this position on social media and content creation, we bunch both of those together. And so what we do is at Vitalis, if you're not pumping out content on a daily or weekly basis, you're losing out on that market. TikTok. TikTok's the number one video platform in the world. If you're not on TikTok, then you're losing out on clientele. People in their 20s and 30s are all looking on video for things. They're watching TikTok, they're watching Reels, they're watching YouTube Shorts. And so if you're not on there, you're losing a market share that you could be putting content on there and getting a market share. So you're losing people. You have to start pumping out content on a daily basis. I think I saw Gary Vaynerchuk one time he made two comments, and I'll let you speak and tell me what you think about that. He said, now this is impossible, but if you're not producing 200 pieces of content today, you're wasting your time. You need to be putting 200 pieces of content out today. Now, that's impossible. But the point is that any content is good content. It doesn't have to be awesome. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be you on your phone driving in the car talking about a house, or talking about the thing that you like about the kitchen. It can be anything, but you have to get in that mindset of producing content all day long, and then let tools like Opus Clip or VA do those types of tools for you. What are your thoughts?
Well, 100% what you kind of just mentioned there. I interviewed Zachary Faust, who is a great agent out of Delaware, very proactive on social media. And we interviewed probably a little bit earlier than this, and he had already had 4, 5, or 6 different videos he posted on YouTube that morning. And while some of them, he's all like, they only had a couple thousand likes, whatever. But then I had one, that had like 1 million views already. And so it's not always about trying to go for that one big, the one big video. It's about having multiple out there. One, just so it's great to have digestible, snackable content for people to view. Doesn't have to be, monumental all the time. But, Joe down the road might be interested in that first one, while Mary up the street could be interested more in the second one. And so you have to realize that not every video is going to cater to every single audience member, but 2,000 or 200 posts or 2,000, whatever you said that was. Yes, it seems like a lot, but like a tool like Opus Clip, now all of a sudden you just created one piece of content, and now you have 10 different short videos of that content that then you could then post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Now you have your blog, you have LinkedIn. Now all of a sudden you just took that one video, created 10 different videos, and now just had 6 different placements. And all of a sudden you have 60 videos of content that you can post out there. So, it's going to scare some people for sure. But hey, if you have a system and process in place, it gets a lot quicker and a lot easier.
Yeah, our executive partners, sorry, our terminology is executive partner. Our executive partners that are doing social media management and content creation, they have KPIs to hit every week. And so those KPIs are producing certain number of videos, certain number of blog content. We love strategic blog content for social media management. So blog content, videos, still graphics, posting those, engaging Facebook groups. Those are some of the things that our executive partners do for social media and content creation. They're always pumping out content every day and getting them onto your Facebook. Now, think about that. You have somebody for social media where you're getting out there on social media, all the avenues, and you don't have to deal with the stress of creating all that, editing that. People think they have to edit everything now like the old days. And sometimes you do with, certain programs, but the stress of not having to worry about producing content on a consistent basis is gone because you have an executive partner that is doing that for you and pumping out that content, which is going to make a huge difference in your business. And also it's going to create a lot less stress. I don't have to do this, and have my toe in all these different things.
100%. So, just in the last 30 minutes, we've kind of covered some of the main things that these executive partners can definitely help out with, whether it be from just recently social media and CRM to lead generation to having systems and processes in place. Anything I'm missing here as we kind of summarize this up of, just so we can have some action items for these agents to see what they're wasting time on and how a VA could really help them handle it, especially just today?
Well, yeah, let me just give you a couple things on our website. So on our website, we have two tools that I think are going to be incredibly valuable for you. We have our time assessment tool. And so it's called something like that, time assessment AI tool. And it's on our website. So you can go to vitalisva.com. And on there, you can take this questionnaire and see how much time that you would save per week and per month by offloading letting an executive partner handle some of these tasks for you. So that's number one. You can go to our website, vitalisva.com, and take that time assessment analysis. The second thing is on our website, we have 100 tasks that a virtual assistant can do in the real estate industry for you. 100 tasks. Now that's a lot, but it gives you an idea of everything that you can have a virtual assistant do for you. And it's a great guide that you can look at and go, hey, I never thought of that. Hey, that's a great idea. Oh, I don't need this. But it gives you kind of like a blueprint that you can follow to see if you really want to do that or need that.
Yeah, I was just taking a look. I did put it into the chat here as far as the time of savings assessment. Definitely take a look at how that could help with your business right away. And I think that's the important part is maybe you don't realize as an agent how much a VA can really help you out with. I mean, do you really want to spend the rest of your life as an agent doing all of these things? Or do you want to get to the point where you've scaled to the point where you also now have the foundation of the systems and processes in place so you're able to accomplish all these other tasks that aren't necessarily selling real estate, but at least you have these things that someone can help you out with that you don't. And so that way you can continue to focus on building your team, continue to focus on, having more time for your family, things like that.
Well, let me just say this one last thing. The one thing that we see is that a lot of real estate agents are scared and they have that fear and control of letting go and trusting a virtual assistant to do it. And so they think that only I can do it the way I can do it. You have to stop that. If you want to scale and grow, you have to get over that. We'll help you with that. One of our delegation coaches will meet with you. But that fear and control, you have to let it go. And then also, if you're not scaling and growing, it's the saying they talk about, the definition of insanity. You're doing the same things over and over every day, and you're expecting different results. So you have to stop doing those same things over and over again if you want different results. What got you to $1 million isn't going to get you to 50 million. You have to do different things. Those are my last words on that.
I thought you were preaching to myself here. You know, I just hired a virtual assistant, and so it was really connected there. Of you can't continue to do everything. At some point, you kind of do have to let go. But it's not just letting go; it's making sure that you've trained them enough, you've educated them enough to fit what you're looking for. Because again, you have those systems and processes in place. I keep going back to that because that's so important. And people might not realize why. It's because that's the foundation of what you've built. And so that way you can take that and then be able to scale it. So I appreciate this. This has been a great call here. Thank you, Gary, as well. VitalisVA.com is the website to check them out. I believe that there was also a link in there that LCA was posting that's a discounted rate as well. And now my dogs are telling me it's time to end this call. So, I do appreciate it. And Gary, if you have any final words, definitely let us know.
All right. I think that's it. I think I've said everything. Thank you, Trenton, for having me on.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it, LCA. Appreciate it, Vitalis. And I'll see you next time. All right. Thanks. Bye.